Hi guys, welcome back. All right, the connection is finally back. But the question is, are my legs? Well, today I'm going to jump into stage 3 of the Zwift ZRacing Series. So this one's kick and sprint, and it's on Sand and Sequoias. This one is 22.4 kilometers long then, and the explosive part of the race is going to be Titans Grove KOM. It's 2.6 kilometers, average 2.2%, but don't be fooled by the gradient. With the rollers and the constant surges, this is where the race kind of blows apart. Survive that then, and it all comes down to the sprint at the end, and can you stick with it? I'm racing alongside a teammate tonight, Matt from TMP, and we're going to go and find out if I can hold on and maybe, just maybe, see if I've got a kick at the end for a sprint. Good luck, mate. So throughout this then, me and Matt are on Discord, so you might hear him on loudspeaker. Sometimes we'll talk tactics, sometimes we'll just let each other know how we're feeling. And as most Zwift races start, this one started off quite fast and furious. I think someone was doing 10 watts per kilo out the gate. But like most of them, they all settle down.
In the last race about going off by yourself.
Yeah. Burned too many matches.
So we actually had 47 starters in this, which is quite good. But it is a Monday evening UK time at 18:10. So this one, the next one, and probably the one after are the most popular of the week, I would say. So you tend to get big numbers, and also you tend to get big hitters on this one as well. So this is the kind of one where if you want a good time for GC, this one or the next two will give you a good time towards the GC then.
I haven't seen Pete.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I have no idea where.
Yeah, I'm sure the sprint is along this road here, I think. Or similar to this.
Yeah, finish this here.
Yeah.
I dropped back a bit to see if I could see him. I can't. So I don't know if he's just stuck in the pen or if there's an actual gap.
The gap forming at the front now. ice cream trucks outside my house.
So there's some quite early attacks on this. A few people try to roll off the front, but the pack will always kind of move a little bit smoother and maybe a little bit quicker than individuals. So unless you're putting out some big watts to get away and you can hold it, then these kind of individuals that are trying to break off, we're not overly concerned about, and I don't think the move will stick.
What power up did you get?
Aero.
Yeah, I got a feather.
I kind of said the match before this as well that I wasn't going to chase anything down, but we both of us ended up going to the front a few times just to put the watts down, just to kind of make sure that these groups didn't get away. But he's just dangling on the front there, just kind of wasting energy, while the pack is just slowly closing in, and before you know it, we're back together.
I was trying to join the guy at the front. I'm gonna try to close it down a bit.
Don't burn any matches, mate. The group will do it. It's flat.
No, I'm not burning anything. I'm going on like 4. I think I need to change gears. This might be the lowest average I've had in a race.
Yeah, I'm happy with that at the minute, though. Just means it'll get saucy later.
Yeah.
So just be mindful, there is a little bump here, but it's only like 1, maximum 2%, and it isn't anything to really worry about. I've seen a few Recon videos where people say like if you're not paying attention, you'll get dropped here, but I don't think it's steep enough to do that. I think it's, as long as you're still within the pack, you should be fine, and then it levels out really, really quickly.
We should at least invite a pacer in here so we can gain some more drops.
Yeah, I need another 50 to get the ethos.
I wish we could like share drops with people and stuff.
I know. But then you'd get people cheating and farming for money, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's probably why. It's the only honest thing, really, isn't it? Farming for drops.
Yeah. I've spent hours doing it.
Yeah.
One guy is going off.
Yeah.
So we got another
It's
couple of
early,
riders
before
off the
the
front.
time, isn't it?
This
Maybe they're a
one,
bit worried about
I
it.
figured in my head this was a move because maybe they were a bit worried about the climb. So they thought if they went off the front and try and maybe cause a gap, then when the pack caught them on the climb, it wouldn't do so much damage to them. And you'll see that the front of the group now starting to get
Just
spread out
gradually
quite a
bring them
bit
back.
because
They're
people
not
are
pushing
chasing
any
it
big
down.
blocks.
I'm making a conscious effort now not to chase it down and maybe let the rest of the pack do some work because I'm still not back 100% yet, so I don't want to be burning any matches I haven't got, like I keep saying.
If it gets to like 6 or 7, we might have to. There's one guy going.
So at this point, Matt's pushed forward. Matt tries to close the gap to the two riders that have pushed on ahead, and I'm now at the front of the pack. So I decided to put a few watts down just to maybe try and help Matt close this down a little bit because we've now got 4 riders up the road, and 4 could be quite dangerous if they work together. But then I've kind of realised once I get to Matt, no one else wants to work. Nobody else comes round us for a bit, and we almost get onto the back of them. But I sit up once I go past Matt because me and him have done a bit of work there. And as you can see, it takes a little bit of time before anyone starts appearing on the screen that isn't me or Matt. And then they eventually come through and I get back on the power. But I think that was a little bit of a silly move by myself. I don't think I'll be doing that again later on. So as we kind of come to the base of the first real incline, the watts start to go up, and I think it's evident. It's not even very steep, right? 2-3%, but the watts start to go up because people want us strung out. This is a very strong group, and I don't know at this stage if we've dropped anyone because I can't see. but it doesn't look like we have. So at the minute I'm doing 5-6 watts per kilo up this incline, and I do find myself sailing towards the front a little bit, so maybe my legs are coming back, but I've just got to be mindful to not go to the front and do a big turn. So I'm just going to sit in, hopefully sit around 5 watts per kilo for the rest of this climb, and then we get to the top. We've got a small descent before we hit Titans. So these rollers coming up, they can be very deceiving. What I would say is, if you want to utilise the downhill and just pump the pedals a little bit, and then you can kind of recover coming uphill, especially if you're near the front of the pack, because you'll just sail through. And then again, power down the downhill, and just use the uphill as a little bit of recovery, and then as soon as you feel a bit of resistance, then get back on the pedals. But this is where you should be trying to get a little bit of a recovery if you can, because of all the blue sections. You shouldn't be necessarily going flat out through here. Some people try, but we have got a climb to come afterwards. So use the kind of slingshot method of going down the hill quick, and then you just find yourself rolling over the top a little bit easier. Because I'm 89 kilos, significantly heavier than a lot of the riders here, the downhill's my friend. So I get a good little slingshot downhill, which throws me up to the other side of the climb. And I don't think I even get out the saddle at all on this, which I think's a bit of a bonus for a big guy like me.
I think pretty much everyone stayed together.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can see one in the background on the mini map.
There's at least 4 new ones here. I just want the 4 net first.
So a bit of a reminder, as we come to the kind of base, this is a Titans Grove KOM, so 2.6 kilometers and an average of 2.2%. It's very, very draftable. So as long as you can stay with the group, and there is a descent afterwards. So if you do disconnect from it, then there can be an opportunity to get back on. very much like the last climb, straight away the watts go up, right, over 4.5 watts per kilo, and I suspect there's a few climbers in here that this is their point of the race to kind of put the hammer down, because the rest of it is predominantly flat with a little bit of rolling. So this is where over 5 watts per kilo starts coming out. Right, it's only a 3-minute, 4-minute climb-ish, so you've just got to really power through it, because you will reap the benefit of getting to the end of it with the main group. So I'll be very honest with you, is at this point I'm struggling a little bit because my legs are not 100% back with me yet, but there's just that last bit of the climb left, and I start to see a little bit of daylight coming in the group, so I've just got to try and kind of dig in and not just give up. I've got 2 other riders right next to me here, so we are getting a little bit of draft, and then I just do a bit of a burst, just to kind of get a bit of momentum. And then I see the banner, and that's the thing that kind of spurs me on to get myself back on the pack, because we're just there. And then once we're over the top, there is another small ramp to go, but I needed that. So when I said I needed that, I was very much like, I think my head needed it. It's kind of a little bit of a, I've still got it, it's coming back, and don't worry about it. And sometimes you just got to get out of your head and just kind of roll with it. But this little descent, just spinning the legs a little bit, I did end up at the front in the super tuck for a very short space of time. But then straight away climb portal comes up, and you've got a couple of rollers to start with, and these are, if you've got a good bit of momentum, which you will have from the downhill, you should get over these no problem. But the next part is probably after Titans, the next part that could probably blow the race up, because again the watts are through the roof. Everyone is dropping feathers that got feathers. I got an aero, and I am not using it at this point because I feel okay. I am saving it for the sprint finish at the end, and luckily I get over this kind of 4th. So and that is the kind of last of the major climbing. Not that there's any major climbing in this, but there's just a couple of little rollers that kind of follow this, but not enough for the climb pole to come up. Also the climbing hood to come up. It is just very short little spurts, and then before you know it, we're back on the downhill descent.
Oh, I've dropped my towel on the floor.
So I said at the beginning, this is quite a big, strong group, and I'm not sure if we dropped anyone on the climb. I think everyone kind of either got back on the descent or just got over together. So this is a big group to take the sprint finish. And I like to sit kind of mid-packish now. Like, I'm trying to use the draft as much as I can, and I'm not going to go to the front, but I am mindful that there are maybe some climbers in here that might want to go long because they don't want to take it down to a sprint. Matt is still here with me, over on my right shoulder there. Matt's sprint's been improving a lot lately, even though he's probably more of a climber, but he's been on phenomenal form, and I was really pleased that he jumped on here, because I think I probably worked a little bit harder than I would have on my own, if not to have Matt in my ear for a little bit of encouragement. So as we're kind of ticking down then, you see the pace is kind of going up, but it's not blistering. I've had run-ins what have been a lot faster than this, and a lot more spread out than this, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. So with a K to go now, or just under a K to go now, it's a lot about positioning on this. So just making sure you're not at the front, but you're near the front, so you can still use the draft to kind of go through people. And my planned time for my sprint is going to be as soon as we drop under 400 meters, so 3 in the 300 meter realm.
Yeah, I'm going in 3.
So this is where I know my legs are not fully back under me, because I've got close to a 12 watt per kilo sprint, and I'm barely getting over 9, but it'll come.
Oh, well done, Matt. Well done, mate.
Well, and that's stage 3 done. So I finished 6th out of 46 starters, but a big shout out to my teammate Matt, who pipped me on the line to 5th. Fair play, mate. Whilst I am kind of back-ish, I honestly think I could win this stage. So don't be surprised if you see me jump back on this stage a little bit later on in the week. I may record it, I might not. But coming up this week, on Thursday, I've got a 4v4 ladder race on the Champs-Élysées course. And this one is against a sprint-heavy team. So it's going to be explosive. So make sure you watch out for that video dropping later on in the week. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do me a massive favour and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and try and help me hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It would mean the world to me to kind of keep pushing to do more race content like this. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.